Guys, I would like to tell you that I had read about the 1919 Jallianwala Bagh massacre in my history books before, but I did not feel the incident, the atrocity and the brutality of the incident the way I felt it today while watching this movie. Well, I'm talking about the film Sardar Udham that is streaming on Amazon Prime from 15th of October, and in today's video I'm going to review the film Sardar Udham. But before that, welcome to Bollywood Bug. This is Shreyashi. If you are new to the channel, then do subscribe to it and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any updates from us. Well, I have a very mixed feeling about this film Sardar Udham, and I want you guys to watch this video till the end to know why I really like this film, but also what are the aspects that I did not enjoy in this film. At the end, I'm also going to share my verdict to let you know whether this film is worth watching or not, worth sparing your 2 hours 40 minutes or not. So keep watching it till the end. And now, without further delay, let's get started. Sardar Udham Singh is a history-based biographical film directed by Sujit Sarkar and produced by Rising Sun Films and Kino Works. The film is based on the life story and remarkable contribution of the Indian revolutionary Sardar Udham Singh in avenging the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. And in the film, you will get to see Vicky Kaushal in the lead role, playing the role of Sardar Udham Singh. Now first, let me give you a synopsis of the film and its story. Sardar Udham was an orphan and he was leading his life just like any other teenager. But his life changed completely when on 13th April 1919 he had to witness the horrific event of the Jallianwala Bagh assault. In this assault, the British troops opened fire on an unarmed Sikh gathering in which thousands of men, women and children got wounded and killed mercilessly. Sardar Udham was not present during this event, but he reached the spot after it and helped as many as he could by taking them to the nearby hospitals and medical centers. The bloodshed, those thousands of dead bodies, the fear and panic in everyone's eyes moved Udham significantly and made him swear to take revenge from the man behind this terror event, Michael O'Dwyer, who was the governor of Punjab back then. Udham Singh got highly inspired by the brave Indian revolutionary Bhagat Singh and he was in close contact with him and his group. Udham also participated in a number of protests against the British rule that led him to jail. After getting released, Udham went to Russia and then London to gather support for his movement against the British. He also used various names like Uday Singh, Sher Singh and Frank Brazil among others to cover up his real name and escape from the police. In London, he managed to gather support from some Indian revolutionaries as well as a female British revolutionary, Aileen. Through their support, he got hold of a gun and on March 13, 1940, he went to the Caston Hall where Michael O'Dwyer was giving his speech. After his speech ended, Udham Singh shot and assassinated Michael O'Dwyer on spot, after which Udham was immediately arrested. In the jail, Udham introduced himself as Ram Muhammad Singh Azad to showcase the religious unity of the Indians. Whether he faced torture over there, what kind of torture did he face, whether he revealed his plan of killing the former governor of Punjab or not, what happened to him finally, well, to know it all, you have to watch the film on Amazon Prime. Now let's talk about the direction and screenplay of the film. The film is directed by Sujit Sarkar and the screenplay is done by Ritesh Shah and Shubhendu Bhattacharya. Sujit Sarkar has always presented a uniqueness in Bollywood cinemas by his unique style of directing films, and he did the same in this film. The film constantly shifts from present day to past and then back to present to narrate the story of the freedom fighter Udham Singh. While the transition of scenes and the transition of time periods is quite easily understandable, however, what did not work here is the fact that most of the scenes remain half complete. And as one scene shifts to another very quickly, it becomes difficult for the audience to really connect and feel the emotions of the characters very effectively. I really wish that there were more time given to such scenes to make them seem complete. For instance, the bond between Aileen and Udham Singh could be felt only half-heartedly, and so is the bond between Udham Singh and Bhagat Singh. I wish there was more focus given to develop these bondings so that the scenes could become impactful and the audience could connect to the emotions of the characters in these scenes. Secondly, the assassination scene of Michael O'Dyer has been shown within the first 30 minutes of the film, even without showing any build up to that incident honestly, which I think really killed the curiosity of the scene too early. But having said all of that, hats off to Sujit Sarkar for directing the Jallianwala Bagh scenes that has been shown with such detail that you can feel all the pain and emotion of each man lying dead or half alive there. The scene comes as the climax scene which runs for almost an hour, giving enough time for you to feel the brutality of the British assault. The words from our history books comes to life right in front of our eyes, and I must admit that nowhere before has this Jallianwala Bagh incident been showcased with such detail and passion. Now talking about cinematography, which is done by Avik Mukhopadhyay, he did a phenomenal job in recreating scenes from the bygone periods. From the scenes in London to the scenes of Amritsar, everything has been shot so aesthetically and each shot recreated the past era effectively. It will seamlessly take you back in history. The close-up shots, the camera angles, everything only reflects the intelligence of the cinematographer and his unique way of presenting the film. Now let's discuss acting performances. There are many Indian as well as British actors in the film, but first let's talk about Vicky Kaushal's performance. The film was more or less dependent on Vicky's acting performance, and he did not disappoint his director. He did his job with utmost sincerity and passion. His expressions were just on point, which helped the audience connect and feel his emotions quite effectively. His dialogue delivery was neither more dramatic nor too flat. But speaking of his dialogue delivery, I have one flaw to point out. In some of the scenes, Udham speaks in broken and grammatically incorrect English, while in some other scenes, he speaks in proper English with absolute fluency. I think this is quite an inconsistency in the character of Udham, which should have been avoided. Apart from Vicky Kaushal, the film also features Banita Sandhu, who played the role of Udham Singh's girlfriend. You must have seen Banita in the film October. She did a fairly good job in this film as well, especially through her expressions. However, her screen presence was too brief to showcase much of her acting skills. Sean Scott as Michael O'Dyer also delivered a fairly good performance. His cold behavior and harsh dialogues will make you hate him in no time. Stephen Hogan as the detective inspector also did his job quite well. However, I have to say that his typically British accent is hard to follow in some of the scenes. Apart from them, there were many other side actors who also delivered good performance and helped in strengthening the narration of the film quite effectively. In the side actors, I must specially mention Amol Parashar, who nailed the role of Bhagat Singh through his realistic and convincing acting. Now let's talk about the background music of the film. The background score is given by Shantanu Moitra. His background music successfully highlighted the emotions and the tense situations in the film. So you can easily understand the vibe of a particular scene in the film through his background music. Also, I have to mention that there are no unnecessary songs in the film, which is quite a relief. Finally, it's time for me to tell you the things that I liked and did not like in this film. Let's talk about the things that I liked first. Firstly, I like the fact that the historical facts have not been twisted much in this film to make it over dramatic. Second thing that I liked is the fact that the historical events that we had only read about before can be easily felt in this movie, especially the Jallianwala Bagh scenes. The Jallianwala Bagh scenes are spine-chilling, and I'm sure that you will feel the pain of all those people who encountered this horrific event. Thirdly, the acting performances. And I'm not speaking about acting of Vicky Kaushal alone, but the acting performances of all the side actors, which were almost flawless. Fourthly, I really like the fact that Sujit Sarkar did not chase desperately to make the film commercial by forcing in some unnecessary songs, actions, or entertainment. So his narration is absolutely authentic and realistic. Now let me tell you the things that I did not really like in the film. Firstly, I think the first half of the film is too slow paced. The story unfolds in a very slow manner, and honestly speaking, you might even feel bored after a point. Secondly, I think except for the Jallianwala Bagh scene, none of the scenes in the film are nerve-wracking or thrilling, while there was so much scope of such impactful scenes or such powerful scenes in the film. Even the assassination scene of Michael O'Dyer, which could have been so much thrilling and nerve-wracking, was not very impactful, honestly. The third thing is that in most parts of the film, you will get to hear British English. So I think for many of the audience, it might be difficult to understand the typical British English accent and thus understand the interaction between Udham Singh and the British officers. And the fourth fact that I did not enjoy is absolutely my personal opinion. I think the Jallianwala Bagh scene that has been shot so beautifully and presented so beautifully, I think some parts of it could have been presented in the first half of the film so that the viewers could understand and feel why Udham Singh was so determined to take revenge from Michael O'Dyer. And now, as always, it's time for me to give you my verdict on this film, Sardar Udham. Firstly, let me conclude that this film is not everyone's cup of tea, meaning that not every kind of audience is going to enjoy this film. The film is quite slow paced, and so you must have patience to watch the film, and as the story unfolds, you will surely start understanding and enjoying the film. The film is no masala Bollywood film, so please don't expect some kind of massy entertainment in this movie. Having said that, this film is quite a masterpiece in terms of its uniqueness and the passion with which the filmmaker has recreated the story of Sardar Udham Singh. The film is one of its kind, and if you like to watch some hatke film or some historical film, then you can surely watch it. Also, let's just say that you should consider watching this film for the fact that you need to know about the bravery and the remarkable contribution of the freedom fighter Udham Singh. If that's not it, then the Jallianwala Bagh scene is another reason why you should definitely consider watching this film. So if I have to rate this film, I'll give it a 4 out of 5 overall. I'll cut 1 mark because of its slow pace and certain drawbacks in clear storytelling and thrilling scenes. And before I go, if you like this video, do give us a big thumbs up. Also let me know in the comment section below if you agree with my review or not, and let me know which movie review do you want me to make next. I'll see you in the next review video. Till then, it's me, Shreyashi, signing off.